What is up, everybody? Welcome once again to my YouTube channel, and today let's go for the inaugural round of our Chicane Online Racing League Championship. We are about to start season number 7, as always, with the Albert Park circuit. So let's get on ourselves with the start of the track introduction, shall we? Ladies and gentlemen, here we are then at Albert Park. Welcome to the Australian layout. 5.3 kilometer of tarmac, 16 turn go around the lake that is right in the middle of Albert Park. This half temporary circuit of public road, half permanent circuit of public road takes 10 corners to the right and 6 to the left to complete. They will be navigated by 29 times this evening, and although the track is quite narrow and twisty at times, overtaking is not at all impossible, with the approaches to turns 1, 3 and 13 promising some action, where the DRS zones that precede them are ready to facilitate the on-track battles. As you guys can see, we have the soft, medium and hard, the C2, C3 and C4 tire available to us for this race weekend. Let's find out later on if any of the wet compounds are going to be used. Moving on to our standings, of course no one has raced, so we don't really have points, but you can see everyone is going to be racing on their multiplayer cars. So we have the teams created by the drivers themselves. You can see the driver lineups. We have Calipos and Jamie on the Royal Red Racing. We have Serum and Mick on the Box Racing team. Juno and Absinthe on the Overhauled Vindicta Racing team. Then the Get Good Racing team is composed of Sweeper and Sloppy Floppy. Recycle Finn and Rin are both in the Rapid Mami F1 team. Alex and Tingo are part of the Sweatfest Racing team. The Asphalt Clowns are composed by Slouchy Carrot and Marcel Leboeuf. Koshia and Fungus compose the Purple Sharks, as the Blazing Speed have as their drivers Willie P and Colin, and then Matador and Slandrix, the only team I believe that doesn't have an European on it. They compose the Acklin Racing team with Matador and Slandrix. So with that, we can get ourselves into our lobby then. Just setting everything up in my second monitor. Give me a few seconds. And yeah, we are ready to get started with qualifying. So let's just take a look at someone who's already on their flying lap. We have Alex about to start his flying lap. Let's get on board with him. As he gets through turn 1, big braking zone at 100 meter marks. He's already gone into turn number 2, and now the rundown into turn 3, the first DRS zone of this circuit, or the second rather, because the first is the start finish straight. Getting now through turn 4, you must be smooth on the power. Let's go up through the gears, through power easily through turn number 5. Just wait for about 60 meters away from the corner, go heavy on the brakes, down to third or fourth gear depending on the driver, navigating to the last corner of the first sector. Right up now to corners 9 and 10. Tricky to spot the braking zone for those who also don't want to get too aggressively on the inside curve, but be smooth on the power. Once again, this is basically a straight run down to the most crucial point of the track. Turns 11 and 12. You'll throw the car in as fast as you can. A bit too wide there for Alex as he goes over the curbs and the grass on the outside. DRS wide open once again on the run down to turn 13. Smooth on the exit as well for the Sweatfest Racing driver. Throw the car into corner number 14. As we get now through 15, you must be smooth on the power to open up the trajectory to corner number 14. He does it very nicely with DRS wide open, giving it all on the hybrid power unit. He's going to cross over the line. It's going to be a 1:21.7 on the soft tires. Doesn't beat the time set by GC Fungus, as we have now the new fastest lap from Sloppy Floppy, the runner-up of the previous season, the guy who won the championship 2 seasons ago. Got himself provisory pole, showing he still has the pace 3 tenths quicker than Koshia on the Purple Shark. So very well done by the Get Good Racing driver. Now, moving on to someone else who might be on a flying lap. Recycle Finn is still on the pits. Let's take a look at Jamie. He who hasn't run in a while. I still remember some good fun wheel-to-wheel battles through me and Jamie in the opening seasons of the championship. In the meantime, we've gone through our own separate paths. Now I'm on the commentary booth as Jamie is still going out there, driving in hangar as he just completed the first sector, getting himself now through this second sector, approaching the high-speed chicane of number 11 and 12 before the rundown with the aid of the RS into corner number 13. He's closing in on another driver, not sure, I guess that is someone on an outlap or an in-lap. Looked like one of the Git Good drivers, maybe Sloppy Mafloppy in the number 15 there. But yeah, he's about to get the line. Absinthe is already out of the session. I don't know if he crashed out or what happened, but unfortunately that's the end of the qualifying session for Absinthe, as the driver of the Overhauled Vindicta racing team is out of the session. Jamie crosses over the line with a lap of 22.0, not too shabby, gets himself 8th place in the standings. Jumping to the box cars, we have Mick, the Czech driver, is about to complete his flying lap as well. We have Colin in the last of the time of the drivers who posted a lap time so far. He's on the mediums with a 122.7. Not too bad of a lap for a lap on the mediums whatsoever. But let's see what Mick does. He has someone behind him. I believe it is Recycle Finn, also in the third sector, about to complete his out lap. But let's see what the Czech does. He's gonna get through the line with a 123.4, not the best lap from him. He's going to want to improve on that. We have Tingo went into the pits. Slendrix loses the rear and is in the wall. On the start-finish straight, he's going to be careful about rejoining the track. He's right on the racing line at the moment. Ooh, that's okay. Fortunately, no one was coming through. That was quite lucky. So we're going to carry on the cockpit cam, not cockpit cam, but the onboard of the reigning world champion. Recycle Finn gets himself up to turn 1, up through the gears to turn 2. The RS wide open once again. He's going to approach the corner at about, or the braking zone, at about 320 kilometers per hour. Drops down to about 80. Smooth on the power once again through turns 3 and 4. Full throttle through 5. You might give a little tap on the curb on the inside, but you must be careful because that can unsettle the car. Big braking zone once again, down to 4th gear through corner number 6, flat out through 7. You must be careful on the power though, as Maldonado himself back in 2011 bottled a potentially 5th place finish by losing the rear at that exact same spot. Up through the gears once again by Recycle Finn as he gets on the approach to the chicane. Let's see how quick he does, cutting the corner quite a bit. Not sure if he's gonna get a slap in the wrist for that. That did look seem fast indeed. The RS wide open once again, 320 kilometers per hour on the approach into turn 13, aided the top speed by the DRS zone, checking the car in the inside of corner number 14. Let's get now through 15, getting to the left hand side as much as possible to open up the angle of attack for the last corner. Smooth on the power as well. DRS wide open, is going to cross over the line and set pole position. What a lap by Recycle Finn, 120.3, quickest so far on the softs as well. What a lap from the Finn, very well done. Now let's take a look. That was a very fast lap indeed. Let's take a look at someone who might be further down the order. We have Tingo on the Sweatfest Racing. Looks like he's maybe he bottled his lap, maybe he got his lap nullified, and he's taking the car slowly through the rest of this lap. Let's take a look at the Canadian then. Marcel Leboeuf in the Asphalt Clowns. The Canadian, unfortunately, early on the previous season, he had connection issues. He was dropping connection a lot through races. In the inaugural round last season, he managed to still come home 7th despite having 2 disconnections in the same race and being able to come back and taking advantage of the mistakes and misfortunes of other drivers. So he definitely has the pace to get some respectable results. He can very well challenge for the top 5 at the very least. his teammate. Let me see, Slushy Carrot is also not posted a lap time so far. He's also on a flying lap of his own. A bit of traffic there. I believe that was one of the Get Good drivers finding some traffic there. Not sure who it was. Maybe Sloppy McFloppy. No, that looked like Swiffer perhaps. Let's take a look as Micho gets a 5th place grid penalty for illegal blocking. Where is Mr. Ticho? He is the teammate, if I'm not mistaken, of Colin in the freaking speed racing team. So, okay. Okay, that's unfortunate. Not the greatest start of the season for the driver, for Ticho, the Dutch driver. That was a word that was escaping from me. But yeah, he's gonna bring the car back. Sorry, he's going to complete the lap as he's on this out lap. He's going to get himself ready for a flying lap. Taking a look at Tingo, who looks like he's finally going to set a lap time. He's going to cross over the line. It's going to be a 122.3. Got him up to 12th place. Not too bad from him. Getting back to Slendrix, who's his teammate, is about to finish his out lap as well. Let's get ourselves to the Argentinian. Hey Alex Berry, welcome to the live stream. How are you doing, man? Why are you not Alex Berry? What do you mean? You are Alex Berry on the... Oh, sorry. Why are you not? Okay. I got your question. But yeah, man, welcome to the live stream. How are you doing, man? F1 as well. Welcome to the live stream. Just chat away. Who do you guys think is gonna get pole position here today? Who do you guys think is gonna take pole position, and who do you think is going to be the favorite to taking the race win? Cycle Finn is looking very, very strong, especially compared to his previous season. It looks like he's carrying on that same form. If you guys also have been paying attention to the time trial leaderboard so far, Recycle Finn is quite often on the sharp end of that stable. So he's really, really fast. His lap time so far has been 5/10 quicker than his closest rival, as CR Jamie improved his lap time to a 1:21.0. Colin as well, 1:21.0. Very close between Colin and Jamie. So let's see how that one develops until the end of the qualifying session. Let's see if any of those two are going to be able to drop their lap times below 1:20. Very close there by Slendrix, getting very close. Maybe it was Recycle Fin, that black and green car. Let's see what the number 31 does. He goes wide at corner number 14, and that is going to be it for his qualifying lap. I'm not sure if he's going to just take it to the pits. Yes, he's going to take it to the pits, and that is it, unfortunately. Let's take a look. I believe Recycle Fin, yes, it was Recycle Fin a little bit ago, so he's going to get himself his lap started. But let's jump to someone who already is on their flying lap. We have Mick. Oh, Mick is okay. I'm having great timing with these camera changes. Mick had issues. Maybe he lost the rear at the exit of turn number 6. He's having trouble to keep himself on the track, courtesy of the massive wing damage he has currently. So very unfortunate from the Czech driver, not having the smoothest start of the season for him, as there is one of the cars of the freaking speed racing team. Let's take a look at some other car who might be on the flying lap. Let's get to Mr. Ticho. The Dutch driver already has a 5th place grid penalty for illegal blocking, according to the team. Get himself rather daring on the speed limits there through corner number 12. Let's see what he does now. He already done with sector number 2. Let's see what he does through sector number 3. We have yellow flags around here. Let's see. Is he going to find out some issue? Maybe someone who spun or went wide? Doesn't look like that's the issue. Maybe it was Mick slowing down for someone. A bit of a tank slapper there on the transition. A bit too harsh on the weight transfer. The car not really enjoying it. No, it was someone in the wall. Someone in the wall. And it I couldn't quite see. It looked like one of the purple sharks. Was it Kosha? Yes, Kosha. Kosha got himself on the wall at the exit of the last corner, and the number 13 is going to have some issues. He's going to bring the car back down into the pits as quickly as he can to get repairs and a brand new set of sorts, and hopefully try to improve on that 8th place. Sloppy Floppy retires from the session. Unfortunately, I tried, yeah, I noobishly tried to check him out and I couldn't because he's already retired, so I accidentally opened up his Steam profile. Recycle Fin, I guess, is also going to retire. Let's take a look at, yeah, Korsha is trying to get in, Tisho has already done his lap, Marcel above looks like he's about to close out his flying lap. Let's see what the Canadian does. His teammate is up to P10 with a 121.6. Let's see what the second Asphalt Clown does. He's going to cross over the line. P5 for the Canadian driver. 121.2. Very nicely done there, beating Juno, the driver of the Overhauled Vindicta team, getting himself dropped out of the top 5. Very nicely done from the Canadian, getting himself up to P5, demoting his teammate outside of the top 10. That might be a strategic advantage for Slouchy Carrots, depending on what he wants to do in terms of his strategy. Lots of cars out on their flying laps, taking a look to see who gets quicker into their flying lap. So Colin is still on the first sector, just gonna check them through. Matador is a bit further up the road, Slushy Carrot is behind Matador, Swiffer is still behind. We have Tingo and Mick, so I think it is exactly this way. It's Colin who's going to be starting his flying lap first. No, actually not, sorry, okay, so I believe it's Matador. Matador is already on the third sector, we're about to start. So, by the way, Matador is Spanish for a killer, for those of you who don't know. Oddly enough, he is Canadian, so he's using a Spanish name as a Canadian driver. His teammate, though, does speak Spanish, as his teammate is the only driver from Latin America in this championship. His teammate Slandrix is from Argentina. Let's see what Matador does, though. He gets himself, let's take it on board with the driver. Of course, as you guys can see, the helmet, this is my own custom helmet. I forgot to remove it, but yeah, unfortunately, you guys are watching the custom Williams helmet that I currently own. But yeah, there he goes. He gets himself through the first sector, only 2/10 off pole. Recycle Fin and Ozone Sloppy Mofloppy have retired. That's how confident they are that they are not getting out of their top 2, out of the front row of the grid. These are probably the biggest contenders for the championship win, both Recycle Fin and Sloppy Mofloppy. Looks like so far Recycle does have an advantage in pace. His lap time has been about 7/10 quicker than the American driver. But speaking about Matador, he's about to complete his third sector, about to close out his lap. I'm not sure about the order these guys are going to cross over the line, but let's try to take a look at that. So we have Matador getting slipstream from one of the Sweatfest cars. It's either Alex or Tingo. He's going across over the line. He does not improve, by very close, but he does not improve. Let's see, we have Slushy Carrots getting himself a P12. We have COR Swiffer getting himself a lap. He goes up to P11. Slushy Carrot drops down. Tingo is about to finish his lap as well, I believe. He's going to get it done. But it is quite slow, so unfortunately he's not going to be able to improve. He gets shown the checkered flag. Jamie does a 121.15. Colin is up next. He's going rather slowly, so I guess he's invalidating that lap. Marcel Abuff gets 5th maximum. Juno is about to get his lap done. Let's see what the Overhauled Vindicta Racing team does here. Absinthe has not been able to qualify as he crashed out right at the beginning of qualifying. Let's see what his teammate does. He's going to cross over the line, 3rd place, dethroning Jamie, so close to a sub 21 lap. Look at that, 121.001. Nicely done. We have Alex Burry also about to finish his lap as he's now in the 3rd sector. Let's see what he does, as is much further away from the top 10 than, Tingo is much further away from the top 10 than his teammate, and actually beats Marcel Abuff, moves him down to P7. There's someone in the wall there, don't really know what happened. but nonetheless, it is what it is. You have Mastador getting down to P9, he's going to abort his lap. Colin looks like he's also aborting his lap. Taking a look at Mr. Ticho, is about to finish his lap. It's going to be P14 as well. It doesn't improve. Swiffer looks like he's going very slowly. Slouchy got himself in the pits, so I guess no one is going to improve their lap times. But yeah, that Colin is still going out there very slowly. I don't know if he got the, I think, yeah, the side wall, for a lack of better word, the side wall of the right side of his front wing is gone, so he's gonna have to take that into the pits for a replacement, as that is it for his qualifying run. So basically just waiting for him to get into the pits for the game to assume the qualifying as over. So in the meantime, we are going to speak about the tire strategies. I haven't mentioned those so far. As you can see, everyone is starting on the softs, or at least everyone tries to qualify on the softs, because we have two strategies. You can go either softs to hards by pitting in lap pace, but if you are a bit more daring on the strategy, or just feeling a bit more confident with your tire saving skills, you can take them to lap 11 to change for a set of mediums. Of course, you can do the reverse. You can go in hards about lap 20 and do a sprint of 9 laps on softs until the end, or you can start on the mediums and take them to about lap, I guess it's going to be have to be lap 20 as well, because otherwise the softs are going to be completely done by the end of the race. So yeah, it really depends on your ability of saving the tires, but I think most drivers are going to be starting on the softs. The menu for this hasn't really shown up to me. The menu for the menu for the results. The game hasn't crashed because I can see the trees in the distance shaking a bit, so the game hasn't completely crashed on me. But unfortunately, we can't really get the rundown of the pack. But well, it is what it is. See how it goes then, as we're going to get ourselves on the formation lap. I believe there is a formation lap. I hope so. Hopefully the guys who set the lobby up didn't troll me. But let's see. Just waiting for everyone to get through their loading procedures. And once everyone is ready, we are going to get started with the Grand Prix itself. So, yeah, once again, welcome you all to the live stream. All 9 of you, as I'm checking my phone for the amount of viewers, all 9 of you, welcome to the live stream. Hopefully we can have a good race. We have 18 drivers racing today. Of course, there was Calipos, I believe. Yes, it was Calipos and another driver who I don't really remember who it was. Yeah, I don't really remember who the second driver was that is not able to attend here today. Oh no, we actually have full 20 cars. So there were some people that were not confirming their presence. I guess they found a way to get in. Okay. Okay. Getting trolled by the Discord server once again. But yeah, getting ourselves through the formation lap, just going to set up every single information you guys might want, the interval between drivers, the tires for everyone, and the telemetry and lap data for those of you who like to watch that stuff and who also like to follow the inputs for the drivers as they navigate the laps here at Albert Park. So, as you guys can see, the top 10 of course are all on softs. We have Railrin, Calipos and Serum also on softs. Calipos is didn't have the best of qualifying performances. The Royal Red Racing Team driver didn't really have the best of performances. I rate him a bit quicker than that, but unfortunately couldn't better 17th place. Tingo is the only one starting the race on the hards. I guess just like his team's name, it's going to be a sweat fest for him as he tries to make those hards work without losing too much pace. Hopefully can get out of trouble and just keep himself on the DRS and slips him off cars ahead of him to not lose contact with the rivals and potentially do the switch back onto the softs at the end to improve his race results. And then Slendrix, Swiffer, Slouchy Carrot, Mick, Ticho and Absinthe are all getting the start of the race on the medium compound of tire on those Pirellis. So as we get ourselves back to the start finish straight, everyone is gonna get slotted on their grid marks. Let me just take a look just to see if I could get a better camera of all this. Not really sure if I can get a good camera of that, but okay. But yeah, we have a few cars every at disconnects, because there are a few cars with the same livery. Oh, yeah, that is a bit of a visual glitch, because we have 5 red lights, lights out, and away we go for the Australian Grand Prix. Not the greatest start from Juno as he drops down to Jamie. Recycle Finn is getting pressurized by Swapping a Floppy, gets through in first place. Let's take it down the grid. We have Matador battling it out for 8th place. Colin up to 9th. We have Slendrick subs as well. Quasha drops down to P11. Let's get the battle down into turn number 3. There is one of the Sweatfest drivers leading. Marcel above, I believe that is Alex Burry. Marcel above tried to have a go around the outside. Didn't quite turn out well for him. Matador up to P9. Quasha regains the position. He's up to P10. Slendrix is battling it out with Swiffer, but looks like he's in P11 for the time being. Absinthe from last place up to P15. Tingo not really taking advantage of those hard tires and drops down to P19. And we have Absinthe going on the inside. There's carbon fiber flying, missing the braking point. He was the Oval Racing driver, and there's someone around. I think it was Mick. Yes, not the greatest start of the race, definitely, for the Czech driver. I believe he got damage. He does have damage on his front wing, and he is quite late to the party. As we have Jamie also dropping down. Is there a spin? Yes, there is a spin for Jamie. Damage in the front wing for him as well. Looks like he dropped the rear coming out of the high-speed chicane. And unfortunately started P4, got a good start up to P3, but now he's out of a contesting place unless there's something that happens further down the race. Recycle Finn already 1.5 seconds away from Sloppy Mafloppy, who has the same gap to Juno, the best of the Oval of Vindicted cars. We have then Fungus, great start from him. The Purple Shark driver is up to P4. Alex Burry in P5. Colin also upgrading himself to P6. Marcel above the Canadian drops down to P7. Matador P8, just trying to check the gaps between every driver. We have Tingo, we have also Swiffer very close to Slendrix there, but not really with an opportunity to overtake just yet. Taking a look at, taking a look at Swiffer, as he might have a look at Slendrix, maybe with the switchback. Looks like he got a battery exit. Yes, he did. It's going to be a drag race now into the high-speed chicane. Let's see who backs out from the maneuver, if they back off at all. Alex Burry drops down to P7. Maybe a mistake on the exit. Swiffer is the one backing out, and Slendrix around the outside of turn 11 maintains P10. Alex Burry, definitely a big mistake there. Already dropped 4 places, maybe even more, as he's down to P9 on the back of Kosha of the Purple Sharks. Let's try to see if he got any damage. No, maybe he just lost the rear coming out of the high-speed chicane. Nonetheless, a very big mistake there from the Bahrain driver, or the driver from Bahrain. But he's not giving up just yet. He's going on the inside of Kosha. There's contact between the 13 and the 12, I believe is the number of the Sweatfest racing car. Yes, it is the 13 and the 12 coming to blows. Alex Burry taking no prisoners. It was a bit aggressive, but he managed to get it done and got past the Lithuanian up to 8th place for the Sweatfest racing car. Dropping down to Mr. Ticho, who's coming to blows with Absinthe, down for 16th place, comes into turn 3 and he manages to get it done, manages to overtake and gets himself up to P16. I don't know if Absinthe is off. Absinthe does have wing damage. He's in the wall. Look at that. There's quite a big amount of end plates missing on that front wing. I don't know if he's going to retire from the race or if he's going to take it to the pits for a replacement of that front wing, but it is very, very unfortunate from him. Tingo in a battle with Rinrain. Looks like he got a better exit. He's coming up to Alex Burry, who's in the meantime dropped down to P12. He's having a catastrophic start of the race, Alex Burry. He also has wing damage. I could just see there on the image. You guys can see, yep, there is big wing damage for the Sweatfest racing car as well. And it's going to have to go for the pit stops to fix that one. Alex Burry there getting overtaken by Calipos and Micho, of course, just letting them through. So let's jump ourselves further ahead. Colin gets a 3-second time penalty for one too many corner cuts. As he's getting on the inside, there might be contact. Ooh, very close between him and GC Fungus, as Fungus on the Purple Sharks makes it up to before Matador, though with some issues. He drops down a little bit, he drops down behind Marcel Leboeuf. The Canadian just says thank you very much, propels himself up to P6, but this won't be the last of this, I don't think. Let's see how it goes. Let's see, Matador is going on the inside of the Canadian. No, he had a look at the inside there, but didn't really have an opportunity to make the position done. Recycle Finn already 3 seconds away from Sloppy Maflop. He was also basically 3 seconds away from Juno, so the field is quite spread out up there in the top 3. Fungus and this Matador in the wall, loses the rear at the exit of the high speed chicane, and he is in the wall. What a mistake from the driver there, as he unfortunately just dropped the rear and is going to nurse his car back into the pits. Tingo on the hards started right down the order and is already up to P10. As I said, keeping himself out of trouble. He wasn't able to get the slipstream of the cars ahead because he's 6 seconds behind Slouchy Carrot. Oh my god. Serum there avoiding narrowly the collision with Matador. I don't know how he managed. He was trying to get out of the way, but last moment Matador came across the track. There was almost a collision there, and at that speed that was going to be an ugly one for sure. But yeah, as I was saying about Tingo, he is quite far away from the competition, but fortunately for him, at least he's out of issue. He's not keeping up with the other drivers. They are going to have traction advantage as Marcel Leboeuf is out of the session. Is he? I don't know who that was. That was Colin. Colin went round as Marcel Leboeuf once again drops out of the session. Once again, connection issues for the Canadian. But Colin, I don't know. Yes, he does have damage. I don't know if it was contact with Marcel Leboeuf, but he also does have wing damage. Is going to have to nurture that one back into the pits. His own teammate Ticho gets up to P10. Ticho and Tingon did not start the race in the top 10, and they are up there already as Kosha overtakes Marcel Leboeuf. Swiffer as well. As you can see, the Canadian is out with connection issues, but Swiffer with a mistake there going wide. Slouchy Carrot just says thank you very much and gets himself up to P7. Calipos and Colin are still getting overtaken because Colin, of course, is trying to take his car into the pits following the wing damage he just sustained. Let's see though, we have Slouchy Carrot closing in on his teammate. I don't think Marcel Leboeuf has come back to the lobby. I mean, though he's able to keep up with Kosha. Let's get ourselves on board with the Canadian. He does lose the rear there. I guess the Canadian is back on the lobby. There's contact between him and Slout and his teammate. Let's see, he's going to let his teammate, not his teammate, his rival Swiffer through. No, he does not. It's the second time Swiffer has to go off track, trying to overtake Marcel Leboeuf, and he's going to be content with 8th place for now. So looks like everyone has normalized a little bit. Colin is in the pits going for a set of hards. He's going to try to take those to the end, I assume. But looking at the gaps, I don't think there are going to be any battles at the moment. I think the cars that are closer together are these two. As Alex retired from the session, and of course I'm trying to look to him, and it opens up the Steam profile. And I couldn't check when Alex Perry retired, but unfortunately we have the first retirement from the race there. as Swiffer is quite close to Marcel above. The softs are a bit quicker, but at this point I would imagine the soft runners are starting to struggle a little bit on those tires as they are starting to come to their end of life. They are starting to degrade quite a bit, having considerable levels of wear, and they are going to pit soon. There's a mistake. Speaking of the issues from the soft runners, Kocha drops the rear at the exit of turn 3, drops right down to P8. One unfortunate mistake from the number 13 there, and the Purple Sharks driver gets himself down to P8. He didn't have damage, or at least doesn't look like he has damage on that front wing, so he can still just try to regain his confidence, collect himself, and just doing his job. At least at the moment he has clean air all around him, so he can just focus on his driving and potentially have a better second stint. Maybe even an undercut could be useful for him to gain some time to the group ahead. Speaking of the group ahead, Swiffer is still less than a half a second away from the Canadian. Slouchy Carrot is leading that train on mediums. Marcel Leboeuf and Swiffer are both going to have the RS on him, so it is going to be interesting to see how that one develops as Marcel Leboeuf comes. Oh, there is, okay, Marcel Leboeuf wants to avoid confrontation, direct confrontation with his teammate, especially as they are on different strategies, and he dives into the pits. Kocha goes into the pits as well to get rid of those red marked soft tires, as we have Fungus having a go at Juno. Juno has to defend from GC Fungus, as Fungus looks like he's a bit more comfortable on the softs at this late stage of the stint. 7 laps old are these cars, and adding to them the laps they did in qualifying, it's about 8 to 10 laps old softs at this point for these drivers. But Juno defending the inside into turn 3 very well and maintaining P3. This is not going to be the last of it though, as we have 2 cars. We have Marcel Leboeuf coming out the pits in 11th with Serum on softs behind him. I don't know if Serum is going to have enough to challenge Marcel Leboeuf at the end of the stint, and Kocha comes out behind. Let's take a look at Fungus. Is going to get the RS at the exit of the high speed chicane. There's nothing to come from it. Juno got a much better exit out of turn number 12 and gained basically half a second there, so not really much this driver could do even with the RS. Mick is out from the session as well, unfortunately, and we have Fungus going into the pits as Juno carries on. A bit of an undercut is Fungus trying as Mick took it to the pit lane to retire. The game is going to put him out there on track again, but I'm not sure if he's going to be circling the lap. Maybe he's just going to pull off the side after he comes out of the pits. But Fungus goes for a set of hards. He's going to take those until the end of the race. Let's see what he does. It's going to come out in a P7. No, Mr. Ticho does get him. He has 8 laps on those mediums, but he does get ahead of Fungus. So Fungus might actually have the help of Slipstream and the RS trying to get him up the field, or at least undercut his most direct rivals. We also had a battle between Slouchy Carrot and Swiffer, as Swiffer finally got ahead of the Dutch driver of the Asphalt Clowns. So Swiffer is further up the top 5, but let's see, we still have a bit longer to go. These guys are on mediums. We had Marcel Leboeuf, for example, as there's issues with Rin and Calipos. Not quite sure, but both the cars dropped quite quickly, so not really sure. We have a visual glitch as they are both having the same livery and they are both the number 1 car, which it is unfortunate. But let me just take a look. Rin, yeah, Rin is the teammate of Recycle Finn, and Calipos is the teammate of Jamie. So yeah, they shouldn't really have the same livery. They are not teammates. But yeah, I guess the visual glitch puts everyone on the same livery, or at least some of the cars on the same livery. But yeah, that is unfortunate, but it is what it is. As we have Juno coming out of the pits, crucially ahead of the battle between Ticho and Fungus. Fungus pressurizing Ticho, but not really able to get past. Let's see what he does. Ticho is going to have the DRS of Juno. Is Juno going to go defensive? No, he does not. Ticho also doesn't attack the overload Vindicta driver, and Fungus keeps himself behind the Dutch driver. He keeps himself in 8th place for the time being. So let's get ourselves back to... Oh no, there was a bad exit there from Ticho. Fungus gets through up to P8. Sorry, up to P7, just bouncing on the mistake of Ticho there. I don't know if he just had a bad exit or just lifted off the throttle to avoid a battle. But nonetheless, we have Fungus up a place. And Juno just came out of the pits on mediums. Is he trying to do a soft medium? Or is he going to do soft, medium, soft? I'm not really sure. Calipos and Serum are both having a bit of issue there. They're dropping off quite a bit. Slandrix goes off the track. He rejoins in P15. So it's the second mistake from Slandrix after running in the higher positions of the top 10. He went into the wall at the exit of the high-speed chicane. Now he has another off-track excursion. This time around, no damage, fortunately for him. But we have Jamie trying to recover on the hards. Actually goes on the inside of the soft running Calipos. 9 laps old softs for both Rin, Calipos and Serum, who I believe is all the drivers that have that livery glitch. Yeah, all the drivers that have a livery glitch are running the same strategy. I'm not sure if they are actually racing or not, but yeah, Jamie gets himself up to P11, so he's still recovering. He has Kosia 8 seconds away on much fresher tires, so I'm not sure if Kosia is going to be able to take himself to the top 10, but nonetheless, it is a good start that he has kept himself out of further issue and made himself up to P11. Recycle Finn, fresh out of the pits on mediums, is going to get himself past Slouchy Carrot, 10 laps older tires as the Dutch driver of the Asphalt Clowns, and Finn just has the easiest time of his life, just getting through up to P2. So Ozone, Sloppy and Floppy also pitted. They are on medium, so they are doing soft mediums. They took the softs until lap 10, so they're expecting to do 20 laps on mediums. I guess they are. I guess that if they can do 10 laps on softs, mediums for 20 isn't that far-fetched. So there you have it. Both Sloppy Mafloppy and Recycle Fin are on the same strategy. We have Calipos, who has still not pitted, dropping down another place from Slandrix. We have Mr. Ticho finally coming into the pits. Let's take a look at his pit stop. Let's see where he does come out of the pits. What place he comes out of the pit in. He's going to get a front wing replacement. Going to come out on a fresh hard. Slandrix and Jamie get past him. Ticho as well, Matador as well, but he's going to have fresher tires than all of them. I guess most of the cars ahead of him are going to pit once again. For example, Jamie is on 10 laps old hards. He's not going to take them to the end. I'm pretty sure of that. As we have yellow flags somewhere, I can't quite tell what happened. It's not between Calipos and Serum. It's not Recycle Fin. I'm not sure what happened or who it was, because I didn't see any changes of position. But there you have it. It is someone caused yellow flags there in one of the sectors of the track. Slouchy Carrot is getting himself under DRS of Recycle Fin, even though Fin is just much quicker, already pulled away. He was just narrowly able to get DRS in this lap, but he's surely not going to have so at the next lap. Sloppy Mafloppy getting himself up to P4, still trying to catch up to Slouchy Carrot after his pit stop. And Tingo again, brilliant job from Tingo so far. He has to pit once, he still has to pit. He started on the yards, so he still has to pit, but Juno is 3 seconds away from him, so I don't foresee a battle anytime soon unless there is a big mistake. But very nicely done from Tingo. Is probably going for the mediums or potentially the softs at the end of the race, and maybe get himself a spot in the top 7, top 8, I would say. Not really sure if he's going to be able to get any more than that, especially as he qualified himself in about 15th place. So it wasn't the fastest, at least in qualifying, but through strategy and through a bit of luck also to not get involved in anything, getting himself up to P5 for the time being. Let's see how we can finish the job, how is his next stint going to develop, and where he ends up at the end of the race. But I'm pretty surprised with Tingo's performance so far. As we have Swiffer, Salty Carrot gets into the pits finally to get rid of those mediums, and Recycle Fin is already within the RS range of Swiffer, so Swiffer might be going for the Bottas strategy, as I'm having just a bit of lag there. Same glitch as last season is still present in the game apparently. Sludgy Carrot is coming out, and Absinthe is out of the race unfortunately. But Sludgy Carrot is coming ahead of his teammate Marcel Leboeuf. They are in 7th and 8th. He has tires that are 6 laps fresher now. I don't know if they are going to challenge each other for a battle. Looks like Marcel Leboeuf is up for it. He's going around the outside of turn number 3 and he actually gets it done. The Canadian, brave maneuver there around the outside, taking advantage of the fact his teammate was on brand new tires, on cold tires, and making himself a place up to P7. Very nicely done from the Canadian. Now, this battle between Swiffer and Recycle Fin, I thought Swiffer potentially would be a bit of a plug stop, of a gap stop there on Recycle Fin's attempts to pull away, because Swiffer and Sloppy McFloppy are teammates. So I thought maybe Swiffer was going to try to hold up the Fin, but unfortunately for him, if that was the plan at least, unfortunately he is not able to apply it. It wasn't able to come to fruition. Nonetheless, he's going to keep himself out for another lap. I'm guessing he's going to try and go the medium soft route, as he is going to pit at about lap 20 and do the remaining 10 laps of the race on softs. He also picked up a bit of slipstream, bit of DRS from Recycle Fin, so all not is bad. He got a little bit of extra straight line speed against the most direct rival swim. We had Colin in a battle with Ticho, his teammate, and Colin is in the wall again. Unfortunate race for Colin. It's the second time Colin has to go to the pits for a replacement of front wing. Don't really know what happened there, as we have round 2 of the Asphalt Clowns battle. Sludgy Carrot overtaking Marcel Leboeuf, and look at the gap he already got. I don't know if he got squeezed or something. There's no damage in the front wing of the Canadian driver, but Sludgy Carrot of course had much fresher tires, and their teammates, they probably didn't get too hard on each other, but Marcel Leboeuf drops down to P8, and I guess that is overtake, game and match between the confrontation between the Asphalt Clowns drivers. It looks like Sludgy Carrot is going to take round 1 of this championship, but these two looks like they are very close in terms of performance. Of course, they weren't the closest at the end of qualifying, if I remember correctly, but at least through the race they are showing a similar pace to each other. As Kosia, as I told you, even after the mistake, he got his heads down on his hard stint and is going to take it to the wall. Fortunately, no damage, as Landrix gets a 3-second time penalty. No damage for the Purple Shark driver. The Lithuanian was very, very lucky there. But nonetheless, he keeps himself in 9th place. He's going to have DRS on Marcel Leboeuf, and he might actually come up to P8. Kosia and Marcel Leboeuf are on the exact same strategy. They have the exact same amount of laps on those hards, and Sludgy Carrot, I believe, is going to start pulling away due to the freshness of his tires, but he might also pull away due to the fact Marcel Leboeuf going to have to keep looking at these mirrors in a couple of laps time. Juno is awfully close to Tingo. Finally, Juno caught up to Tingo, who hasn't pitted yet. Tingo just got a 3-second time penalty. The pressure from having Juno behind on fresher, softer tires maybe distracted the Sweatfest driver a little bit and made him get a penalty there. 3 seconds of penalty for Tingo are going to get added to his final race total time, as Juno is going to get DRS on the Setfest racing car. Nonetheless, it looks like Tingo on pure traction. Looks like Tingo actually got a better exit than Juno. So maybe a higher ERS mode on the Sweatfest driver. Yes, he's really trying. He's going back to 1. Tingo look at the difference of speed. Tingo was on 0 ERS, Juno was on 1, and that alone allowed Juno to close so much time. And he just needs to keep himself going at this, he just needs to keep himself, because he has an advantage in terms of ERS on Tingo, so if he just keeps himself on 1, he's going to get himself past, I am quite sure of that. So in terms of the battle, 4P2, Swiffer and Sloppy Mafloppy are on completely different strategies. I don't know if any team orders are going to come through for the Git Good Racing drivers, but let's see how it does. Swiffer does drop down behind his teammate, and it is second place for Sloppy McFloppy. In terms of the battle for fourth place, Juno gets further closer, or even closer, to Tingo, but he is not really going to be able to get up the grid anytime soon, or at least through that DRS zone. Let's see how it does now. Let's follow it. Tingo is already on 0 ERS, going to move up as much as he can. He's up to 5. Juno is only up to 3, but he has DRS, so that's going to help him a lot, especially into the next straight, as Tingo really doesn't have any ERS to defend. But a moment there from Juno, lost traction coming out of turn 1, and he's going to have to do the work all over again. Very unfortunate there for the British driver. Wasn't really able to keep the car under control at exit of turn 1. Tingo also looked like he had a little bit of a moment there coming out of turn 4, but unfortunately Juno dropped a lot of time, and as they are lapping Serum, yeah, Serum, Calipers and another driver I don't remember, are all of them disconnected from the race. That's why they are on the baseline liveries. But yeah, it is unfortunate, but it is what it is. Juno got a bit of the gap close to Tingo. He's going to have DRS once again. But look at the difference. Tingo is already on 5. He's on the last 10%. Juno gets DRS and he's on 1. So yeah, you can see the difference. Even though Tingo was on 5 and Juno on 1, he still closes in and solidifies even further his advantage in terms of the ERS. Slouchy Carrot and Marcel Leboeuf come to blows again, and this will not be the end of it, as Marcel Leboeuf is going to get DRS into turn 1. We have Juno, speaking of DRS into turn 1, gets it to Tingo and gets through up to P5, and he's going to get DRS also into turn 3, so move done from him. Now taking a look at the Asphalt Clowns racing drivers, let's see how it goes. Fungus also overtakes Tingo in the meantime. Marcel Leboeuf manages to defend from Slouchy Carrot. Does Slouchy Carrot have the DRS available to him? Yes, he does. Taking a look at the comparison of ERS, Marcel Leboeuf does have an advantage in terms of ERS, so he's not really going to be able to close the gap enough to send it for an overtake. Look at the difference in laps. Tingo, oh boy, there was yellow flags there somewhere. Fungus, was it Fungus? No, it was a back marker, I believe. Does Tingo have wing damage? No, it does not have wing damage, but he did have, I believe, a bit of an issue with one of the back markers. Is Fungus that bad? Yeah, it's one of the freaking speed cars. Not really sure who that is, but he's going to pull off to the side. No, he's actually defending. Kosha gets a 3-second time penalty. Someone else also got a time penalty. I didn't really catch who, but whoever it was, is that Colin? No, that's Colin's teammate though. That's Mr. Ticho. Mr. Ticho was giving quite a bit of trouble to get out of the way of Tingo, as we have Swiffer finally in the pits to get rid of his hard tires. Tingo maybe should have gone in the pits as well, because he can go to the softs perhaps if Swiffer can. I'm pretty sure Tingo also can. Swiffer is going to come out of the pits behind one of those disconnected cars, as the Git Good Racing driver is ahead, right ahead of the battle between Slouchy Carrot and Marcel Leboeuf. Marcel Leboeuf is, unless Swiffer is too quick, is going to be able to get himself some good pace, especially in the slipstream and the RS of Swiffer. Let's keep tabs on the difference between those drivers. Slouchy Carrot is a bit closer to Marcel Leboeuf than the Canadian is to the Dutch driver ahead. But let's see how that goes for him. We have yellow flags in the sector 2. I don't really see anyone dropping places, so I can't really tell who was having issues. In the meantime, Jamie, as you can see, has made his way back up to P10, but he's also going to have to pit stop once at least. I mean, he has already stopped to replace his front wing, but I believe he's going to have to stop once more, as we have the number 13, that is Koshia, having a go at Slouchy Carrot, I believe that was. Yes, it was, but it didn't really come to fruition. Swiffer is still within 1 second away. Oh, and Juno drops down to Fungus. Fungus on hards manages to have a go and overtake Juno. He's going to have DRS as well, so he's going to be able to consolidate that overtaking attempt. Koshia, will he get a chance at Slouchy Carrot? No, he does not. He's too far away. All three of these cars are getting DRS. Crucially for the Canadian, Marcel Leboeuf also adds DRS on Swiffer. Despite being on the softs, he was not quick enough to break the DRS range. Now finally, in this lap, Marcel Leboeuf drops out of the 1 second DRS range, but it is going to get tasty between Marcel Leboeuf, Slouchy Carrot and Koshia in the laps to come. Carrot does have the advantage on freshness of the tire, but he doesn't seem like he has, like, the pace he has is enough to have an advantage over Marcel Leboeuf. Looks like the Canadian, despite having older tires, is making them work much better than Carrot is. So, unfortunate for him. It looks like he's going to have to work quite a bit to get past his teammate. Now, looking at the gaps, Juno has dropped by over 1 second is the gap from him to Fungus. So the Purple Sharks driver is up to the podium paying positions. Taking a look at Marcel Leboeuf is once again, maybe a mistake there from Swiffer, but Marcel Leboeuf is once again on the DRS range and is going to have that at his disposal. Yes, he does. Slouchy Carrot also does, and Koshia also does have DRS at his disposal, so I believe the gaps are going to stabilize unless someone does make a mistake. For the time being, Tingo, for sure he has to pit. Tingo is on his 21st lap on hards. He has to pit until the end of the race. I'm pretty sure he knows that. He has to get rid of the softs, of the hards, to go at this point for a set of softs. He could have done that 2 laps ago, or at least on the last lap. As you can see by Swiffer, he's already on the softs. But yeah, looks like Tingo is very, very comfortable on those hards. Doesn't really, it feels like his strongest tire is the hards at the moment, apparently. And yeah, he's hopefully, I hope, that is going to get rid of those and bolt on a set of softs at the end of this lap. He's going to drop down, I guess, to P9, but then again, he's going to be on soft, so he might as well pulverize through that little group from P6 to P9, who then is going to convert into P5 to P8. But looking at that group, we have Swiffer this time around does nullify DRS to Marcel Leboeuf, but Slouchy Carrot also gets himself out of DRS range, I believe. Koshia is the only one of that group that's going to have DRS. Let's try to get on board with the Lithuanian. Yes, the rear flap is not open on the car ahead. On both cars, both Asphalt Clowns drivers are not getting DRS available to them. So Koshia is going to be able to take advantage of that. Jamie goes into the pits. Tingo goes into the pits. He's coming out on softs. Jamie is 14 seconds away from Matador, so even if he loses any time whatsoever, he's not really going to lose too much. Another wing replacement for him. Matador gets through. We have only 6 laps left. I wasn't counting with that front wing replacement. Maybe that will cost him. I know it's 18 laps old mediums for Matador, but Jamie really lost a lot of time already. Almost 10 seconds of a gap between him and Matador. It's going to be tough, I would say, for Jamie to get up into the top 10 positions. Tingo 15 seconds away from that trio of 6th to 9th. But let's see what he does. Koshia is the only one of this group that is within a second of the car in front. Let's see how it goes then for him. It's Slouchy Carrot still outside of DRS range. He needs to push. Let me just take a look real quick at the state of ERS for all three of them. The one with the highest amount of ERS is Slouchy at the moment. The one with the worst amount is Marcel above. But then again, the difference between all of them, it's about 5, maybe not even that much of percentage in difference of ERS. So they are all on pretty much close conditions, apart from the tire situation. Slouchy Carrot does have the least amount of laps on them, but it doesn't look like he's taking advantage of that. Marcelo is slightly quicker than him, depending on the lap. He has now dropped about 2 tenths on the previous lap, and the gap is right on the edge of giving Slouchy Carrot DRS. But Kosha got himself a very good first sector. He closed in on Slouchy Carrot, gained at least 1 tenth on him, and he is about 7 tenths away from the Dutch driver. Let's see how he does. He does have a better 11-12 chicane, and the gap is now only half a second. Hey, hello Kitty, welcome to the live stream. How are you doing? No, Flying Fin is not Recycle Fin. Don't worry, we don't have esports guys on this championship, but Recycle Fin does have a lot of talent and a lot of speed. Now, Slouchy Carrot did not have DRS. Kosha did have DRS once again. He didn't have the best third sector, dropped the 10th, but he's going to have himself a way to close the gap on Slouchy Carrot very, very soon, as we still have Swiffer 2 seconds away, 2.5 seconds away. Tingo goes for the fastest lap of the race, as the gap is already less than 13 seconds. I don't think it's going to be enough, but nonetheless, Tingo is going to get that extra point. Jamie also is 7 seconds away. GC Fungus left the session. GC Fungus has disconnected, and Juno might take advantage of that. That's very unfortunate for the Purple Sharks driver. Look at that. He was doing very well on those hards. Juno was dropping place. Jamie gets the new fastest lap, but he's outside of the top 10. I am not sure if the point counts towards only the drivers who post the fastest lap within the top 10, or if the ones outside of the top 10 also get points. Fungus there getting overtaken by one of the back markers that made him lost a lot of time. Recycling goes into the pits. He's trying to go for the fastest lap. He only gets 2 seconds. What is he doing? He's basically forfeiting the win. He wants the fastest lap. I'm not sure that was the correct course of action, but okay, if he has the resources to do so. He goes away, 7 seconds away from the lead now. That was very weird to see. And yeah, Fungus drops down to P20. I don't know what happened there to him, but yeah, he drops out to P20. So there you have it. Unfortunately, Juno gets promoted to P3, and that's going to be it for Fungus' chances at taking a podium here today. Looking at the gaps between the drivers, Kosha lost a little bit to Slouchy Carrot. I'm guessing back markers have had a bit to do with that, but let's see how that one develops. Marcel above has already dropped quite a bit to Swiffer, who's getting closer to Juno. This might be a very fun battle for the last step of the podium. With the disconnection of Fungus, it now opens up an opportunity for both Swiffer and Juno to grab that third place at the end of the race. Let's see who grabs it up. It's a 16-lap medium car with a 6-lap old soft car. Let's see who gets the upper end on that. Of course, Swiffer does have the advantage. Finn already got about 2 seconds. I think Finn just got 2.5 seconds. Sorry, no, basically 2 seconds on a lap to Sloppy Mafloppy. That's going to be very close. If he's getting 2 seconds per lap on Sloppy Mafloppy, that is going to be awfully close. Let's take a look at this battle. Swiffer already has the DRS on Juno. He's going to close right up the gap. Juno has a slight advantage on ERS, but we all know that the DRS is going to help Swiffer conserve a little bit. Let's see how it develops. Slouchy Carrot is already too far away from Kosha for the Lithuanian to do anything about it. Marcel Leboeuf is already out of the arrest range of Slouchy Carrots. Looks like that is settled for this race. Ticho gets another 3-second time penalty, unfortunately for him, as Recycle Finn 2 seconds away only from Sloppy McFloppy. What the hell is the kind of pace Recycle Finn is imprinting at the moment? The gap is already below 1.5 seconds, as Recycle Finn is not only pushing for the win but also for the fastest lap. Swiffer gets the DRS once again into turn number 13 compared to Juno. He still has the ERS advantage, but not too much. Jamie is able to overtake Matador. I was a bit doubtful of his capability to do that, but he does get himself further up the pack. Recycle Finn 121 and is right on the cusp of overtaking for the lead. This is the battle between Sloppy McFloppy and Recycle Finn. He goes around the outside, gets blocked by the American, so he cannot do that at the moment. Let's see now. Juno and Swiffer are awfully close to each other. Both get good. Drivers are battling for the podium position. Sloppy is battling for the win. Swiffer is trying to get within the podium paying positions altogether. Through this first sector we go. Juno is trying to defend through the first sector. You can see how much slower Juno is compared to Swiffer. He's chomping at the bit to get himself some daylight to send the car down the inside of Juno. The Oval Vindictor racing driver is trying to fight for his podium aspirations. Sloppy McFloppy is going to have DRS from Finn. There's wheel banging as we get down the DRS zone into turn 13. Later on the brakes goes Finn, and he manages to snitch the pole, not the pole, rather the lead of the race from Sloppy McFloppy. What a performance! He came out of the pit about 3 laps ago, 7 seconds away, more than 7 seconds away from the American driver. He manages to come back, not only set the fastest lap of the race, but also to take back the lead of the race. What a performance, what an alien this driver is. Speaking of a great performance, the Swiffer also did not have the greatest of moments so far. He had a bit of trouble getting past Slouchy and Marcel, or at least pulling away from them, but he managed to make his strategy work. He's on the back of Juno once again into turn 1, going heavy on the brakes. Lazio gets the smoothest exit. Juno looks like he got a tighter on the apex through turn 1. Looks like he also got a better exit. He's giving it all from his power unit. Juno is going to defend the outside, sorry, the inside. Swiffer goes too late on the brakes, and that is it for him at this point. He's going to have to recollect himself. Juno still has less ERS at his disposal, and he did lose a great opportunity to get himself up to the podium paying positions. Juno just has to do what he can to survive. I don't know in terms of fuel how the situation is for both drivers, but we are certainly going to be able to take a look at that as we are going once again up through the gears through one of the most crucial points of the track. Try not to get any grass on the exit for those two drivers. Hopefully no one does any mistakes. They did not. Juno is going to get pressurized by Swiffer. Swiffer gets the DRS wide open. He throws it, but it is not enough. As there you have it, Recycle Finn takes home the win of this Australian Grand Prix. Ozone gets himself P2, Sloppy McFloppy gets himself P2, Juno is going to be charged once again by Swiffer, but it is not enough. He's going to come home in P3, brilliant defending there from one of the previous championship winners of this championship. Marcel Leboeuf, very nicely done, conquering this first round of the battle between the Asphalt Clowns drivers. Slouchy Carrot in P6 right behind his teammate. Koshia tried his best, did very well to recover after his mistake, gets P7. Tingo, after managing to take his hearts for 22, maybe 23 laps, takes home 8th place. Jamie recovering after his collision with the wall early on the race. He did very well in qualifying, qualified in 4th, so we know he had the pace. But right now he managed to put that pace down, recovered the best he could, and gets himself P9 at the end of the race. And Matador is going to bring the car home, and it is going to be the 1 point for the Akin Racing team. Very nicely done for the top 10. All others in the meantime were a lap down or so, got themselves done. But yeah, let's get ourselves to the podium. What a race, what a performance from Recycle Fin. The number 59 gets himself on the top step of the podium, and the defending world champion gets himself once again the top spot as he takes home the win of this Australian Grand Prix. It was very, very well defended from Sloppy McFloppy, but when it came down to it, Recycle Fin had not only superior pace but also superior tires. He had the resources, ERS and fuel to attack, and that was exactly what he did. Not much of a defense that Sloppy McFloppy could have done any better than that. He just did his best with what he was given at the moment. Both his tires and his resources were right on the limit, I assume. And once again, we do not get the final result. So indeed, this game is trolling me and my voice is almost gone. So this is it, guys, for today. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, give me a like button. If you did not, the dislike button is, as always, right beside it. Subscribe if you like to see more. Hit the bell icon for any notification of whenever I'm about to start a live stream or to post a video. Hope to see you guys next time, and have a wonderful day. Goodbye.